Welcome to Minnetonka Ice Arena. CCX Sports presents coverage of high school girls hockey. Tonight, it's the Benilde-St. Margaret's Red Knights taking on the Hopkins St. Louis Park Royals. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, kind of a tale of two starts for these teams. Hopkins Park playing pretty well so far, off to a good start. But for Benilde, looking for that first win, but also that first goal. They've done some good things and played decent against Wayzata last time out, but as Coach Podine said, it's tough to win games when you're not scoring any goals.
Well, it's tough at this point. It's just not to have any goals at all, especially on a perennial powerhouse that you'll usually see anywhere between 3 and 4 goals averaging a game. So that was kind of a shock. But, you know, as you were talking earlier, once they get that one goal, it'll all tend to start falling into place because they got some scores coming back. And if they can break that one, either the power play or a dirty goal or something, let's watch what happens and see if they start lighting it up.
Third year of the co-op program for Hopkins and St. Louis Park. And as Hopkins years back, they had a good, strong program and really been pretty consistent this year, which I think was maybe somewhat of a pleasant surprise for them. They returned about half of their varsity from a year ago, and they have to like what they've done. They did lose to a good Egan team, but since then it's been pretty smooth sailing.
Well, Egan's been rolling everybody, so I don't know if that's a fair comparison right now. It's consistent they're beating everybody else, but they put up a lot of goals. They've got 24 goals already in 5 games. You know, that's a pretty good average, so they're finding the net pretty good. And they found a little surprise in the backup goalie that's now the starter, Emily Roden, who's done a great job. Her .907 save percentage. This could be a pretty good season for Hopkins Park.
Let's talk about key players to look at in tonight's contest, starting with the visitors from Benilde. Obviously, they said they haven't scored any goals, so we'll tell you what she did last year. Maria DeCesar centering the second line tonight and capable scorer for their team.
Absolutely capable. She had 70 points last year, actually a couple more, but she's done a real good job. She can skate. She's got good movement, good hands, knows what to do with the puck. Just hasn't gotten through yet, but maybe tonight's the night where she does.
And even in a conference as good as the Lake, Kylie Hanley is going to stand out for Hopkins Park all year. She's had a great career already, and so far, so good in the senior season.
Yeah, she's a good-sized young lady, nice, smooth, strong stride, good hands. She's got 9 goals in 5 games. That's almost 2 goals a game, Jay. So she's on pace for a really good year if she keeps it up. But when you got somebody you can depend on that can do that, that helps your team out a lot confidence-wise. When you're down, that's the person who'll step up and get you over the hump. So she'll be exciting to watch tonight.
Hanley is headed to the University of Minnesota Duluth. Well, Dan, these teams not located too far apart, obviously, especially for the St. Louis Park girls being in the same city as Benilde. It's been a rivalry, and at times somewhat of a nasty rivalry in these last few years. Their playoff opponents are going to play twice this year. Even though it's still November, this is a pretty important one for both teams.
Well, very important. I mean, let's face it, all the coaches are looking at the end of the year. They need a good ranking setup for their sections to get a good seed. And like you said, they ain't no love lost between these two. It still could get pretty nasty if they want to. I mean, it's been a back and forth type deal. I remember the early years with Hopkins and them. And yeah, I'm expecting a tough little game tonight.
All right, we'll see who comes out on top. It's Benilde-St. Margaret's and Hopkins Park, and it comes your way next year on CCX Sports.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Look at the Red Knights right there as they try and get in the win column for the first time as the Red Knights and the Royals getting set to do battle here. And it was interesting talking to Coach Podine from Benilde, obviously new to their program. His daughter playing in the program. He's been coaching at St. Louis Park boys program, and also obviously a pretty good player himself back in the day, playing for 4 different NHL teams. But it said everybody's been real positive, you know, even though it's been a tough start. The girls have come to the rink excited to be there. There's a look at Sean, and And, that's the part that he's enjoyed the most, is that they've wanted to be there. They wanted to be together. They wanted to learn. And the sky isn't necessarily falling if you don't win each of your high school hockey games.
No, and that's good at this point, too. That's going to be really important for them. I mean, they're 0-3, which is not usual for Benilde-St. Margaret's program. They haven't scored a goal. But if they're, staying together as a group in the locker room and liking to be around each other and playing hockey together, good things are going to happen. And give it time. It's early in the season right now, too.
And they've faced some pretty good competition in the early going as well. Grace Juckness banking it off the glass, and now it's sent back forward here by Maya Jones for Benilde, and then immediately flipped right back out to center. Dump back in, and the Royals will go back to get it here as Aaron Brousseau whipping it around for Mary O'Neill. O'Neill trying to come along with that pass out to center. It was flipped back in. Benilde had to touch up and get back on side here. Amanda Olson flicking that puck ahead into the Red Knight zone. Hopkins Park will make a change. Jones stick handling through center here for Benilde. Knocked away and pushing it up the left wing side here as Catherine Fredrickson had it, lost it. Quick back and forth turnovers here as the Royals get it back out to center and then flicked ahead to the Benilde line here. Andy Nylander, but they were offside. As unable to hold out of the zone there was Mackenzie Rich. Some real young players in the lineup here for Benilde. There's a look at Coach Erickson. A little bit under the weather tonight, but he's pretty happy with what his team has done. I mean, you can't argue with the 4-1 start. And as you said, Dan, and the one loss, not exactly a real bad one.
No, against a Negan team that hasn't lost a game all year and has steamrolled a lot of teams. One we saw last Tuesday night, too, and made a roll, I believe. Wayzata, but he's off to a good start. 4-1. He beat Buffalo, beat Orono, beat Jefferson, beat Proctor Hermantown. So now he's got to build on it because he's going to get into that late conference schedule here pretty quick.
Hanley dug it free, but then the pass a little bit off target, trying to go to Amanda Olson. Olson will come back to get it here for Hopkins Park. They do a nice job reversing it here, but then that pass knocked away. Red Knights able to force a turnover. Mary O'Neill on the way up ice ran into some traffic, now knocked ahead and flipped into the Benilde zone. Samantha Dieterding back to pick it up. Nice step up there by Charlotte Rich. Rich trying to dig it free down in the corner for HP.
Well, so far it's been kind of Benilde's game here so far. Hopkins has not put any pressure inside the zone at all, and Benilde-St. Mark just mucked up the neutral zone a little bit, not letting Hopkins have any free flow in.
Flip toward the net here, and it'll be grabbed up by Carly Green for Benilde, getting the start here this evening. And Paige Greeley's kind of been their mainstay, but Green give her an opportunity here.
Stepped up and got herself a 1.00 goals against average, or when they played Wayzata to lost 1-0, but good game, and she was one of the big reasons it was close. So they're hoping to build on her, get some solid goaltending.
Flipped into the corner here. Benilde trying to reverse it and get it out. Pass a little behind, and Hamley will pick it up here for Hopkins Park. Sliding it across to Amanda Olson. In behind the Benilde net. And Hopkins Park going to make a change, so that allows the Red Knights some room to get out of the zone with it here as Megan Truman, one of their captains, carrying it. Firing the shot, and that one sails wide of Boland.
She made some really nice decisions so far. She's brought the puck out of the zone 3 times now and just carried it out and got them going. Just they haven't been able to sustain. The forecheck hasn't had a chance to get established for Benilde. Once it does, we'll see what happens. They got to hit the net with the puck, though, Jay. They got to get more shots on goal.
Turnover here. DeCesar up with it now for the Red Knights. And jabbed away before they could get a shot at the net, and then knocked out of the zone by Aaron Brousseau. Whipped across here to Anna Podine. Now onto the stick of Nylander for Benilde. And chipped up into the score bench there. So get a stoppage here, and no score on the board. No real chances yet in the early going of this one, as Hopkins, Park, and Benilde kind of just feeling things out a little bit. We saw on the bench there with a cast on Annika Patterson standing next to coach, so not something you love to see there, but kind of helping out now as maybe as an assistant a little bit.
It's kind of tough to get knocked down by an injury there, but you're kept as a member of the team, and that's an important role she can fulfill.
Broken up on the way out as the Red Knights able to dig it free. They've been able to force some turnovers, but just not been quick enough with the next part of things and getting any quality look at the net. But forecheck has been pretty decent. Knocked ahead and sent on in by Mary Gleason for Hopkins Park. Gleason ends up with the puck, but too many red jerseys around, and they're able to take it away. Breakout interrupted, but now the Red Knights able to come forth with it here as Dieterding carries it for Benilde. Dieterding working her way to the corner, doubled up there. They're able to scrap and get it on out of there as Aspen Konowalchuk came down for Benilde, but then picked up by Hopkins and Aaron Brousseau, the freshman who's had a pretty decent start to this season. They will chip it on in and head off on a change. I'd go so far as to say a little bit of a sluggish start here for Hopkins Park, Dan. They haven't really had the puck much and haven't really connected on many passes, and you kind of had to figure coming in that they were maybe the favorite, especially on home ice, but it hasn't really looked like it so far.
Legs aren't moving. There's just one or two people kind of moving forward and not coming down as a unit totally. But I was watching them coming back here. Benilde's putting a real straightforward check into the neutral zone. They've got it all across, so forcing everything to the outside, not letting Hopkins have any open ice in the middle, especially where they can get rolling. So we'll see if Hopkins starts moving there. They're going to start moving the puck, especially wide side shots across the rink to muck out that check that's going through the neutral zone that Benilde's putting on.
Off the draw, a little backhander on net that Green knocks aside. Oh, wow. Trying to bottle them up with a forecheck there, and they are able to force the turnover. Thrown behind the net. Brousseau chasing after it. Also Sarah McCallum getting down there, number 21. Now the pass coming out front and just knocked away. Hopkins Park putting on a little bit of pressure here just after we said they hadn't done a whole lot so far. Now this shot is deflected toward the corner. Back out to the point they go with it here to Amanda Olsen, and that one slides all the way through. Chipped ahead by Sophie Melsness. Now a 2-on-2. Melsness dragging it around the defender with a shot, and Boland making a save with the blocker as Melsness really made a nice move with that puck. And it drew the detour and then dragged it around.
Beautiful toe drag move and got a good shot on goal, and two Red Knights were closing in on the Hopkins goalie down there in case of rebound. The rebound bounced way out. If that would have dropped in front, they would have had a good shot at the rebound shot. And that's what they got to do, Joe. It's kind of, they got to get dirty goals. They haven't scored one yet. They're going to need to get one any way they can. Here we go.
Pass across, a lot of room to work with there, and that shot denied as Abby Hancock stepped toward the net. Benilde trying to quickly counter and catch him in a change. It goes off of Mackenzie Rich's stick. They failed to capitalize on a little bit of an opportunity there. Here comes Kylie Hanley, forced back the other way and throws it to the corner. Red Knights doing a nice job again, freeing that puck up and getting a little cycle going. DeCesar with it. Turns and spins it back down low and then thrown out front. Oh, and a stop. Follow-up try is in. And the Red Knights get on the board, not only for the first time tonight, but for the first time this season.
Is that the
DeCesar will get the goal.
Yeah.
Well, good to know we didn't jinx her in the pregame there by talking her up a little bit.
By gosh. Top leading scorer coming back. Good shot right in the middle there. Got it in front. The rebound came out. DeCesar just came out and just buried it.
went after the rebound and got it and really connected with it. And there you go. First goal of the year. And we were here to see it for the Benilde-St. Margaret Red Knights. Now let's see what happens, Jay.
So a 1-0 lead for Benilde.
Let's see if there's an adrenaline factor here now once they got that first goal, and maybe they're going to pop another one in, but at least get some more offensive chances.
Rich will get the assist, or excuse me, was it Nylander that they gave the assist to there?
Yeah, the other thing too is Benilde's only been averaging about 14 shots a game, and they're going to need to have to improve that. I think they're well on the way of getting way beyond that tonight.
Look down the ice here by Hopkins Park. It will be an icing call here, so 8:32 to go in the first, and a pretty strong start for the visitors, and Maria DeCesar getting Benilde on the board to grab this 1-0 lead. Konowalchuk and Hanley will face it off here. Royals able to control it. Hanley comes up with it. And Olsen had a little trouble with that bouncing puck, and the Red Knights able to keep it in. Flung to the corner there by Truman. Hopkins Park able to break it out, but then the pass knocked away and then knocked back, and that one almost was going to be deadly.
Kevin Fredrickson almost had a really good situation. Would have blown by that D and got in, but just got her feet tangled up on the ice.
Gathered up here by Mary O'Neill, leading the rush here for Hopkins Park. The defenseman will flip it in deep. Abby Hancock back to get it, trying to swing it back around, but it was intercepted. But however, the Royals player fell after picking that pass off. Maya Wheeler. A misfire on that first try to go D to D there for Benilde. And then back out, it'll come to center as a 3-on-3 rush here. A shot sailing high and wide, and then a follow-up try. Bolin getting her leg pad down to block that one from a shallow angle. Joust forward in the corner. Back out to the point. Long shot getting through, trickles off of Bolin. Bolin was not even on the, not even really the varsity backup prior to this year. They had 3 senior goalies last year, so now kind of bided her time on JV and getting a chance to be the goalie as a senior. They don't have much in terms of goaltending in the program, so barring injury, she's probably going to be in the net pretty much every night for them.
Well, she started off has got a great start. She has a .907 save percentage, which is very good.
And a couple big saves by Green. Brousseau had the first try and then the rebound. Another dangerous one. Here's a shot that'll sail high and wide. Kept in at the line and dumped down to the corner. Charlotte Rich tried to throw it out front. Podine pushed it to the corner, and then the Red Knights have to clear it. No ice though.
Must have been tipped.
Yeah, it looked like initially they were lining up to call icing there, but I think communication between the officials showing a little tip. Here comes Hamley leading the rush. Hamley up the left side, fires. Oh, and a glove stop by Green. Big rebound, the shot, another save. Jabbed out front, it's off her pad, and now a Donnybrook in front. Whistle sounds, and players go flying everywhere. Don't see any signal for penalty, at least as of yet. Boy, Hopkins Park, you see Hamley looking and then just firing that shot, and there wasn't the end of the good opportunities here. There was another good one and another. Boy, Green, real sharp moving side to side there. I think she made probably 4 saves there, it looked like.
Yeah, good opportunities by Hopkins, though. They just kept coming and coming. And I like the defense sinking in, seeing he had an open puck and getting it right back in on net. Did not let it get blocked. That's the Hopkins team you and I were waiting to see there. They were very sluggish to start this game.
Penalty coming up. Nylander knocked away that breakout pass, and then she was hauled down. So Benilde's going to go on the power play as they took away that opportunity for Nylander. And getting the gate here is Kelly Kumitchell. You see the pass knocked down, and as she's shooting, that's a good call.
Yep, that's what you call a hook in a big way. You know, really, not a bad penalty, though. I mean, you didn't want her coming in on your goalie all by herself, and there was that possibility. Take the penalty now, weather it. Your penalty kill's running really well at 88% so far this year, and you don't get a lot of power play goals when you're running against a penalty kill like that. Look at this, mounting an offense.
Hanley shorthanded. That's whether they're short a play or not. She's always dangerous out there for Hopkins Park. So Benilde with the player advantage, trying to get things set up. DeCesar carries it into the zone, dropping it over to Mackenzie Rich. They work it out high, but a little too high as it got away there from Truman. They'll have to go regroup here now. Jones putting it on the stick of Rich, but they again have to circle back and regroup here.
Well, the entry is key here, and I'll tell you what, Hopkins has got it nicely bottled up right now. They just can't get it through the neutral zone.
Collision there at the blue line. They rule cleanly done.
Ooh.
That was a bit of a slash there that Rich got away with as Amanda Olsen came up to play that puck. We happened to be pretty close to where that happened, and it was loud.
He's very polite by saying bit of a slash. Man, oh man.
Puck comes free in the high slot here. Red Knights trying to get it set up and get an opportunity as Melsness carrying it out, puts it out top. And a pass across, nearly intercepted as Brousseau read it, but just couldn't quite get there. Boy, that would have been a breakaway the other way if she'd been able to come up with that puck.
We got 2 ninth graders on the blue line for Benilde-St. Margaret's on this power play right now.
Royals able to get to clear here. Down to 20 seconds to go in the power play for Benilde-St. Margaret's, and a turnover here. Hopkins Park trying to dig that puck free. They've done a pretty solid job of killing it here, no doubt. Carried up here by Callinger for Benilde. Penalty time has expired, so Hopkins Park back to full strength, although Benilde still possessing the puck in their offensive zone. Brought to the front, backhand try there. Bounces free on the other side, then sent back out front again, but that one turned away. Hamley coming up with it here for the Royals. Playing it ahead now to Gleason. Back for Hamley. Hamley scores!
What a beautiful goal.
There's a beautiful goal for the Royals. You knew it'd be tough to keep Hamley in check all night, and she's able to get one here with just a little over 3 minutes to go in the first period.
Boy, those long, long, beautiful strides. She can skate. It's just, she doesn't look like she's going fast, and she really is going fast. And got that rush started in her own zone, passed it up to the winger on the side, kept going through the middle of the slot, got the puck back. A nice pass right here in the Hamley stick, and she ripped it and found the short. She found the short side on that. Found the short side.
Boy, and the timing on the pass was really good, because any later and it would have been too late.
Yep. Gave enough room to make a move and get a good shot. And, that's neat. And coming right off a great penalty kill, too, Jay. Just took that energy and turned it into a tie game.
Gleason gets the assist along with Charlotte Rich, who made that pass up to Gleason to get things started. So a nice rush there for Hopkins Park. I mean, even if that didn't result in a goal, you had to like the way they worked the puck up the ice there.
Yeah.
Which they've, seen for their liking a little too few times tonight so far.
Well, they're getting their legs moving, for heaven's sakes, and they move the puck forward to the person who was forward. And,
there's a shot into traffic, and Bolin will cover it, and then the Benilde player knocked over the top of her there as Connor Walchuk knocked down. And she wasn't too happy that somebody fell on her, but I think if she saw a good look at it, that it was really her teammate that forced that player to fall.
Well, the ref didn't think so. Right there. 23's going in the box. So Hopkins will be on the penalty kill again. And
Olsen is called for the penalty here. And Coach Erickson, I think, saying that looked like hockey to me when the goalie's covering it and somebody knocks somebody down. but they don't get away with it as Olsen will be sent off.
Well, coach is making a point, and not necessarily about this penalty, but for the rest of the game. You know, I need some allowances in front of our net because I'm sure Benilde is going to do the same in front of their net.
Long try there from the point, knocked down, never made it through. Red Knights so able to keep it in the zone. And then a shot thrown wide of the mark. Nice job on the forecheck to get to it. Kenzie Malone.
Yeah, Jay, I'm watching this game and I'm seeing all these little short people that really can skate while playing for the Red Knights. It's like they got 4 ninth grade.
Hamley short-handed, nearly worked their way all the way through there and split the 2D. Mackenzie Rich leading the rush here. They're 2-on-3 right now as they're finishing a change behind her, but Rich does the right thing, gets into the zone and gets set up. Circles all the way around here. Battle for it down low. O'Neill trying to dig it free. She's doubled up though, and Rich takes the puck back. Trying to get things set up to move Hopkins around a little bit out top. Banked off the end boards, and then Hamley knocks it down and will fling it down ice. And Green stops it there. 1 minute to go here in this first period. We are even up at a goal apiece here, the Red Knights and the Royals. Weaving into the zone. Ooh, and then that one is off a skate, and it almost became a more dangerous chance than it looked like it was going to be as Truman banked it off a defender's skates right back to her own stick. Thrown out front there, but that one is knocked down. But again, they've had trouble clearing it here.
Well, Truman's been really fearless at the Benilde defense. She has no problem rushing the puck at all and creating some opportunities here. So
here's DeCesar in the circle and had it knocked away before she could pull the trigger there. And thrown to the slot and hammered on out, and that should eat up the remaining time. Penalty is now over to Hopkins Park as we're down to 5 seconds to play in the first. And they're trying to force a turnover and get it out front, and they did. I might have been a little too soon to say that the period was going to end there as they were able to force a turnover but not get a real clean shot. So a pretty good first period, a good start. Definitely for Benilde getting their first goal of the year, and then superstar power striking back as Hanley evened it up. After one period here tonight from Minnetonka Ice Arena, it is Benilde-St. Margaret's 1, Hopkins St. Louis Park 1. We'll be back with more coverage here on CCX Sports.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
Welcome back here to Minnetonka Ice Arena, home of the Hopkins Royals and now Hopkins Park Royals. Most of the games here, they're played an outdoor game over at the new outdoor rec center there at St. Louis Park Arena. So first period highlights in this one, and Benilde really did get off to a strong start, and it showed up in them getting their very first goal of the season. You see a first shot here popping high up in the air, and then they get a opportunity. It's thrown out front. Nice stop there, but then on the follow-up, DeCesar driving it home, and Boland wasn't quite back into position yet, had it slide under her. So Benilde's first goal of the night and first of the season came at 7:42. Nylander getting the assist for Benilde as they took that lead, and as we said, started out strong. Hopkins Park, as the period went on, got some chances. There's a pretty decent pair on one rush, and then this one was a really tough sequence that Green makes some stops on. One save, and then this one, number 2, 3, and even a fourth one right there, as she really played well on that sequence for the Red Knights to keep Hopkins Park off the board. But then Gleason putting it to Hanley, already her 10th goal of the season, as she ripped it in on the short side there past Green to tie things up. And then opportunity here in the shot from the point little jab at it in front resulted in a penalty there against Hopkins Park's Amanda Olson. You see the shots so far. The Benilde has 6 shots on goal and Hopkins Park has 4. And we see a couple of penalties taken by Hopkins Park, and Benilde is 0 for 2 on the power play. So we will come back with more of our hockey game tonight from Minnetonka Ice Arena as Benilde and Hopkins Park meeting here on Thanksgiving week.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Welcome back here to Minnetonka Ice Arena. Hopkins Park making their way back out onto the ice. As the period went on, they picked things up. I don't think they were probably super thrilled with their first 10 minutes or so, Dan, and I think they feel they can play better.
Well, and they obviously showed that, especially in the last part of the period. 2 things: stay out of the box. It's not helping them kill penalties because then their offense can't get going. Get your legs moving, spread it out, move the puck, and get rolling. Benilde, just keep doing what you're doing. Maybe a little bit more in front of the net, but I thought they were doing the right things to put pucks in the net. They were getting the puck in the net. They were getting people in front of Bolin and making them work. So let's see if they can keep that up.
So we're underway in period number 2 as it's quickly dumped into the Benilde zone. Off a skate, comes into the circle. Hanley with the backhand, Green the save, and then Hanley trying to slap it home, and whistle sounds as they are able to cover it up.
She's not too dangerous, is she? My gosh, look at her. She jumps right on it and gets a backhand, and she ain't shy about shooting either, and she almost stuck it in the short side again. I thought that I heard it hit pipe.
Hanley, I think, recognized that she had taken a couple little swats at Green, and so didn't really protest when a Benilde player gave her a little tap in the midsection with her stick there. I think she kind of knew that, I probably deserve that. Down to the corner here, centering pass and a goal! Put away by Nylander off a great feed, and BSM strikes in the first minute of this second period.
Boy, it'll be interesting to see who made this feed because it was a beauty. The Hopkins defense just lost their minds and didn't cover anybody in front. You see the pass coming through. Oh, that would be the coach's daughter.
Yes, Podine putting it right out front, and Nylander able to bury it. Boy, you like to take advantage when you get such a nice setup like that, too. First the steal, and then the on-target pass. You want to finish that because you don't know how many you're going to get.
Exactly.
Especially, obviously, when they're a team that had been having trouble scoring.
Yeah, and she was the second leading scorer coming back from the team, too. So the top 2 scorers from last year for Benilde have stepped up to the plate and finally banged a couple home for them. And they're going to sleep pretty good tonight.
Icing call here, and we'll head back into the Hopkins end of the rink.
Well, they got to just be happy, and I know there's a proud coach over on the other side of that bench, but boy, Hopkins, come on, stop it. You got to stop giving away the first few minutes of the period here. They're really getting stuck.
Boy, I'm sure you always kind of talk to your team about being ready right from the first whistle. And, boy, it really showed up there for Benilde as they were able to get the job done and get a quick goal here to start this second. So the Red Knights back in front at 2-1. Puck flicked in by Dieterding. Knocked away from Kasica, and then a Benilde player dumped out in front, but no call as the Royals trying to bring it up ice here with Rousseau. Dumps it in deep. It's a big bank out front there. Green, I was thinking maybe would have wished she had reached out and played that one to the corner as she just watched it come out front. It was a little bit too far away to maybe want to gamble on, though. Dumped down, but it went right past a defender there, so no icing as O'Neill picks it up. Benilde finishing a change. O'Neill having some trouble with that puck. Might be a little bit wet behind the net, possibly after the after the Zamboni did its work between periods there. I'm giving O'Neill the benefit of the doubt maybe there for having that trouble. Can't get it out, and this one deflected high into the air and then knocked down.
Boy, you know, the Red Knights, Jay, they're just first to the puck, and they're winning the one-on-one battles here. And just Hopkins just like kind of standing still.
Picked up again by Benilde. That pass off the side of the net, though, and here comes Hanley back the other way. 1-on-2, but that may not be bad odds for her. She throws it on net and then chased it herself. Hanley trying to dig it back free, but Hancock able to spin away with it. Now it comes back to Hancock, and she'll lug it up ice here for Benilde and then jump onto the bench as she dumps it in deep. Kasica picking it up here for Hopkins Park. Gleason floating it across. They don't really have the numbers right now, but they did get a shot on net as Charlotte Rich put it on net. She was pretty much in alone on that side, but gets an offensive zone draw out of it.
There you go. Perfect play. That's exactly what you want. Now you get settled down, set something up. But now you got to win the faceoff.
Brousseau and Juckness will face it off here. Sent around in behind the Benilde net. Out to center and chopped ahead. Brousseau trying to come up with this puck here for Hopkins Park, and does, putting it onto Charlotte Rich's stick. They throw 3 in deep on the forecheck here. But coming off the wall with it is Juckness for Benilde. And then knocked out by Callinger, but stopped at center ice. Looking to go to Gleason here on the left wing side for HP. Instead taken by Hannah Vitelli.
You know, just these little hesitations by Hopkins is kind of costing them. They're slowly starting to take more advantage of the territory now.
And there's a shot off the stick of Gleason into the glove of Green, and she will hang on. Force a face-off here. 12:59 to go in the middle period. Benilde-St. Margaret's leading it by a score of 2-1. And they were 0-3 coming in, and Hopkins Park was 4-1. But it hasn't mattered so far.
Well, I think that 1-0 Wayzata game did something with the Red Knights here. All of a sudden they started to believe they could play here, and they get some solid goaltending. Things will start working well for them.
Shot gave Green some trouble and might have even hit the pipe there as Fredrickson put a backhander toward the net. Now here's a chance for Mackenzie Rich. Partial break, but Hanley catches up to her. And Hanley able to knock that puck away, and now Kylie Hanley comes up with it herself. 3-on-2 rush. Good back check though bothering her, and Hanley is tied up by Nylander. Nylander did a heck of a job there to not only do it, but do it cleanly.
Well, she got to go and she can play defense too. How about that? Nice back check.
Royals trying to force the turnover, and they do so. Here's Brousseau shooting and missed, trying to go up high on the stick side there. Red Knights clear it high off the glass and get it on out as they were feeling the heat a little bit there. Koo Mitchell circling back with the puck here for HP. And that one sent back in, but they were way offside there as Hancock tossed it back toward the Royals zone. So we get a whistle to stop play with 11:52 to go here in this second period. A pretty good hockey game here tonight, Dan. You know, we're looking at the records coming in. We weren't entirely sure what we'd get. There's a look at Hanley catching up and just kind of riding Mackenzie Rich off the puck.
She can play a little defense too along with that offense. You know, you like it when you see those forwards come back and really help out, but you know, one of the big differences here, I think the Benilde-St. Margaret's defense has totally outplayed the Hopkins defense tonight.
Shot going just wide there off the stick of Dieterding. Now put out front, jabbed out of there though, and here come the Royals with Brousseau. Aaron Brousseau is going to be a player to watch over the next few years here. Already a good one as a freshman. And drops the pass off, and Green making the save on Charlotte Rich.
Boy, nice setup there by Brousseau. Got it out front, set up for the one-timer. Green in good position, though. Probably could have been out of the crease a little bit more, but she got on top of it and made a nice block.
Now the Red Knights back the other way. Dieterding's pass got just a little bit too far out front of Olivia Haig. Seeing both teams, lengthening the bench a little bit here in this second period. You don't want to run out of steam by the end of the game. And now here's Hanley picking it up. Banking it ahead nicely there to Charlotte Rich. Hanley takes it back now. Hanley shooting. The defender blocks it. Hanley gets it right back, putting it out front, and it just trickled wide. And now we get a whistle here. Did the face-off coming up. Net came off, I think. Yep.
Hanley here coming, made a pass, got a return pass, and probably should have taken, got a good opportunity there, but prior to, she took a short-sighted shot again and probably should have dropped it off to her teammate coming down with her. Could have been a better shot, and she would have been judged for the rebound. But
Gleason up with it, trying to put it out front. That one was jabbed away, and the Red Knights able to get out of traffic there. Banked on in deep. Seems like the pace has picked up a little bit here. We're seeing
big time.
People are going after loose pucks with a little extra. Back out to the point here, Hancock. Didn't really have a shooting lane, so dumped it back down deep. And it banks to the side of the net. Picked up and thrown to the front. Whoa, they almost had Boland surprised there. She was a little bit slow to cover up that side of the net. Now put out front again. Here's a chance, and that one goes just wide. All of a sudden, we're getting some chances opening up.
Well, talking to Coach Bodine, too, he said, they had Green in the goal the other night against Wayzata, and he said she made some fantastic saves, 3 of them that she probably shouldn't have. And all of a sudden, Benilde had an attack. They started getting some offensive chances, and obviously they're kind of in this game right now, and they're generating some nice offensive chances.
Back out to the point here. Kasica had it and lost it for the Royals, and now Benilde breaking it out. Pass a little too far for Melsness, and then Melsness is checked, and a penalty coming up against Hopkins Park as Koo Mitchell put the shoulder to her, and it looked like a pretty good call here. Coming up is going to be a checking minor against Hopkins Park as Koo Mitchell takes her second minor of the night.
Well, you'll see her squeeze up on the board, but there's a definite shoulder push there with a little bit of back there, so no question about it. That was a check, and you can't do that in girls hockey. And they've been in the box now, what, is that the third time?
Third time, yeah. All 3 of the penalties tonight have been against Hopkins Park. Off the draw, the Red Knights able to win it. Pass gets away, though, and now the Royals able to clear it. Green will stop it here. Hancock turning back up ice here for the Red Knights. Brings it into the zone, but then they quickly turn it over, and it's brought back out to center. Benilde will have to regroup here. Podine. Nice pass ahead there to Nylander. That was the combination that netted them the go-ahead goal here early in this period. Nylander up with it. Gets the return from DeCesar, and a penalty coming up out front, and it's going to be against Benilde's Mackenzie Rich. As a cross-check, she kind of came up behind the defender and thought, I'm going to get myself a little extra room here by using the stick. I thought maybe it looked like more of a trip, but either way, a penalty. And Rich will go for cross-checking here to even us up.
Yes, folks, she does look young. She's an 8th grader. I'm struck by the amount of really young players on both these teams, Jay. I mean, we're seeing a lot of 9th and 10th graders playing tonight on both these teams.
Yeah,
and they look like they belong.
8th graders too, yeah.
Yeah. And you're right, the pace has really picked up now, too. The legs are really starting to move.
Dieterding carrying it hard up the left side here for the Red Knights. Drops it back to the point. Here's a shot, and Boland able to make the save. She had a pretty clean look at that one. There wasn't really much traffic out front.
she got the 5-hole closed up real quick, made a nice job. We'll see a good setup here. Defense is almost a screen there a little bit for her, too. I think it got inside those pads.
Off the draw, swing and a miss at it there for Benilde by Truman. But they keep possession. And that one knocked away. Gleason pushes it ahead here. Off a skate, it comes loose out front. A shot and off the skate again. Then a try at it, another try. And Green knocking it away. Here's Hanley picking it up for Hopkins Park. Hanley, though, had some trouble with it and knocked down the ice by Jones. And we're going to end up with this one being an icing call, looks like.
I thought for a minute they weren't going to call it, but boy, 4-on-4, all of a sudden there's just a mistake made at the blue line at the far end with Benilde, and then all of a sudden they got trouble in their own zone, and two people in front of that net with good opportunity, and look who's got the puck right there.
So 24 seconds remaining in Koo Mitchell's penalty, and then Hopkins will get a power play of about 40 seconds worth or so. Podine looking up ice here. That pass intercepted, though, by Olsen for Hopkins Park. She'll throw it back in. Rousseau chasing after it and gets to it. So the Royals are at full strength. A power play of 40 seconds now for Hopkins Park. And Benilde does a nice job of recognizing that and got to it and cleared it down the rink. And now the race is on.
Oh, nice hustle.
Druckness getting there for Benilde, dumps it back down toward the corner, and then DeCesar played it around Hanley. Nice job shorthanded here. Kill some time, keep possession, but then it gets away at the blue line. Gleason will pick it up here for Hopkins Park. Gleason walking in, shoots. Green the save. She tried to go 5-hole. She was running out of space up that left wing. Now Hanley whipping it across. Penalty is now over to Rich of Benilde. We're back to 5 aside, and that shot from Gleason goes just wide. Now thrown out front, trying to get it to Gleason again, but knocked away, and DeCesar plays it to the wall. Mackenzie Rich up with it. Rich, who just had a 2-minute break after taking that penalty, waiting for some help off the bench and drops it back.
Oh!
And this one will slide in on net as it just got away there from Hancock. But boy, just within these, period and a half of this game, it feels like the skating and the stick handling has gotten a lot better than it was in the early going.
Yeah, look at this now. Watch this pass coming across. She's being chased by two people out, brought it back to Hancock, who almost split it and got inside. Just a beautiful play there. You're right, Jay. And it's like all of a sudden they've been drinking coffee and the caffeine suddenly struck, and here we go. Now we got our legs moving, and the pace has been good here.
Royals able to get this one out. It's going to come right in on Green. Hancock starting it back up ice here, but they give it away. Here's a chance and a shot. Green just fighting that one off as Fredrickson put a high shot on net there.
Well, we're seeing Hopkins with this high forecheck all of a sudden create some turnovers up by the BSM just inside the blue line, and getting some shots back. Nothing real close in type, but sooner or later it's going to start getting in there.
Flip back toward the Red Knights blue line and now turn right back, and here they come on a 2-on-2 rush. Thrown to the front, knocked away by Bolin here, and Hopkins Park with Hanley leading the rush back the other way. Hanley speeding up the left side. They force her out wide. Ooh, and Hanley goes down hard. A penalty coming up against Benilde. Knocked loose. And now it will be whistled down as Hanley, as she went to the net, was tripped up. So Benilde picking up its second straight penalty after Hopkins Park had taken the first 3.
This will be the first full power play now that Hopkins Park has had. I think they had 40 seconds in the previous one, so we'll see if they can get something going. But Hanley's, coming around, trying to drive across. Oh, interesting.
Might have been a little bit of a phantom one there. Vitelli was called for the trip.
Oh.
Thrown back across. Here's a chance. Oh, and that shot hitting the back. And then might have gotten away with one a little bit there. Melsness coming back. But when you're already shorthanded, you might get the benefit of the doubt. So the Red Knights now controlling it shorthanded. Oh, and a deflection off a defender. Changed directions, and Bolin had to make a stop there for Hopkins Park.
It's got a little irritating. Now watch what happens here. The shot comes in. Now watch what happens after. Oh, it got tipped a little bit there and just shaky. Now watch this. Perfect. When you ain't scoring goals, that's how you score goals. You go in and you go after anything that's showing.
And you could see the rubber was out there. I don't fault Benilde at all on that one, even though the goalie doesn't like it. That one knocked down. So far, so good on the penalty kill here for Benilde. They've been able to keep it in the HP zone.
Yeah, whose power play is this?
Yeah, they're doing a nice job with it. Back out to the point. Swing it around here to Caesar, trying to play it down low. Chip back to the front, and now the Royals trying to start it back the other way, but they miss on the pass. And this one is going to be an icing call against Hopkins Park. So not only have they not gotten anything set up in the offensive zone, they've really had any trouble breaking it out at all.
Well, they're making some big mistakes in their own defensive zone here with being a man up. They got to get two people on the puck. Just try to get it back as quickly as possible. Get two people on the puck. You got them outnumbered, and run it from there.
Hanley wins the draw. Got it back to Olsen. Now Hanley from behind the net. Worked her way through a stick check there. Gleason carrying it here for HP as they get set up in the offensive zone on this power play. Back out top here to Hanley. 35 to go in the man advantage here. Down to the front, turnaround try there. Green gets over, but it's a goal.
There you go.
We are tied up as that one snuck through Green. And getting the congratulations there is Koo Mitchell as she will tie things up for Hopkins.
Just standing down there low on the backside of the net, and the puck just went on her stick, and she just kind of dribbled it in. You can see her just kind of a weak half shot here. Keeps going through, and she just found the 5-hole. She got it up front and got it through the 5-hole to tie the game.
Nice job being in the right place at the right time there for Koo Mitchell too. Sometimes you get a little over eager and go chasing the puck around, and sometimes waiting for it to come to you is your best bet.
And we got a penalty on Benilde-St. Margaret's. The Caesar's getting in the box. I didn't see what happened here, but Hopkins on another power play.
First goal of the year for Koo Mitchell, and it's a big one to tie us up at 2-2. A roughing call against Caesar. They announced the goal as somebody other than Koo Mitchell, but I don't think that was right.
I don't think it was either. I think they gave it to Mary Gleason.
It seemed pretty apparent that they were A, congratulating her, B, she was the first one to go along the line of the bench, and C, the replay.
We got a camera on that. I think that's the best way to verify it, Jay. I like that. So, yeah, they'll eventually get it straightened out here, but boy, they needed that goal. Now let's see if it sparks them a little bit. Now let's see the puck go down low. Now I believe that's number 5 there, who gets the puck and drives it to the 5-hole with the big C on her shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely Koo Mitchell.
Yeah. Well, Hopkins is, they've been pretty good this year. Their power play, actually not that good. 2 for 16. It's at 13% so far this year, but they've been scoring a lot of even strength goals. And
put out front here. Here's Gleason, a chance. Backhander denied. Taking advantage of these power plays here. Hanley putting it back to the point. Now a shot. And Green making the stop as that one made its way through traffic and on net. So the complexion of this game has changed quite a bit. And you talked about it earlier, you know, staying out of the box was key for Hopkins Park. Now Benilde's finding that out in the other direction.
Yeah, and Hopkins is building upon it too. I kind of like that bouncy shot. That's always trouble for the goalies, especially if you get an extra stick on it. But yeah, now they can just get some flow in this power play.
Minute 38 to go in the period. We are tied up at 2 apiece. Puck comes back out of the zone, so they'll have to regroup here. And then Olsen didn't wait long enough as Kumitchell was still in the zone, and we get an offside call here against Hopkins Park.
Not a good sign on the power play, but you know it's early. It's early in the season right now, and you know we were talking to Coach Chris with the Hopkins Park team, and they said that they've been practicing it pretty much every day now because they know it's got to be an area where, you know, they become potent. And they've got the ladies on this team to score a lot of goals with it. That's already evident. You put that in your weapons along with your even strength capability, this could be a formidable team.
Pass comes out front now. Hamley, a high shot. Green has some trouble with it. Oh, the rebound off the pipe. Now a shot. Green scrambling back into position, and no goal initially. Now they're signaling goal.
Yep.
And HP will take the lead for the first time as it was jabbed home there by Charlotte Rich.
Shot after shot here. Good shot here and high, and boy, Green was confused with it. Pushed through, hit the post again, now goes up top and scrambles through and finally goes in. I think it went off a Benilde player, actually.
Yeah, no, I think it looked like Rich was able to just get a little sweep on it right there. Yep.
There we go.
Knocked it in.
That's a dirty goal. I like dirty goals, Jay. Everybody was working hard on that one. And Charlotte Rich finally puts it away, and I believe his first lead for the Hopkins Park team tonight.
Scoring for your Royals, number 7 on the power play, unassisted, Charlotte Rich.
Call it an unassisted goal there on that power play. There was only a second left in the power play. Now a chance the other way on a breakaway. Callinger walking in, shooting, and she's denied. And then a little battle back and forth. We talked about in the pregame that these teams in the past haven't always liked each other so well, and we're seeing it flare up a little bit there as a big stop by Bolin, able to win the battle on the breakaway against one of the Benilde captains, Callinger.
Nice setup here, too. She got out front, and the D finally got it to her. She got down, and she's trying for a corner, didn't quite get it past Bolin. Bolin got a little bit of an attitude about people coming in and poking her.
Well, and Callinger, what she did was try to push her into the net with her skate, it looked like. Mm-hmm. And now it looks like we're going to have a penalty on each side here out of that scrum. Amanda Olsen is going to the box, and also Sophie Melsness, it looks like, for Benilde. So they're going to get coincidentals, it looks like.
Calm them down a little bit. Oh, no, we got a second person coming in.
Well, you're right. Callinger will get the initial.
No, let's see if there's a major involved. They're just a second. Well, what's this all about?
Shot bouncing wide, a half minute to go in the period. Doesn't look like we have any of the penalties registering. We're 5 aside, so one of those must have been a misconduct.
Go get her! Go get her!
You're right.
Back out to center. They couldn't get it out. Here's Hamley, a drive.
Oh. Nice shot. Wow.
So the period will come to an end, and it's an eventful period. Hopkins Park leading it by a score of 3-2. After 2, we'll have our second period highlights, and then what should be an eventful third period up next here on CCX Sports.
I want to eat apples and want to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Pretty good hockey game so far here tonight at Minnetonka Ice Arena. Hopkins Park leading Benilde by a score now of 3-2 after they got the last 2 goals just a couple minutes apart in that second period. It was a pretty wild second period, and take a look at some highlights from that middle period here. Hanley getting a backhander on net that Green makes the stop on there for Benilde. And then a great play here by Podine coming out of the corner, floats it across and banged home by Nylander just 41 seconds into the second period, and Benilde took a 2-1 lead. Hopkins trying to answer here. The shot, though, stopped by Green for the Red Knights. And then this one sent out front here and just stopped by Bolin there for Hopkins. Back out to the point, a long one that was tipped by a defender, and Bolin had to react to that one, cover it up. Gleason carrying it hard up the left side here. She shoots, and Green able to get the pads closed in time there for the Red Knights. And then nice little rush here, turning back, waiting for help, and nice move into the zone, but it just got away on that last move by Hancock and slid into on goal. And then a turnover forced here. The shot kind of fought off there by Green. Another opportunity here that's tipped, and then the puck was briefly loose there and banged out. And then the bad blood kind of started a little bit after that, I think. Both teams getting a little physical. Here's one that comes out front, and then just tucked away by Mitchell, able to sneak it between the pads there. She kind of gave a little, excuse me, shrug there, like, well, maybe that was a little lucky, but that they all count. And then the high shot fought off. It's off the post, but they're not out of trouble yet. Keep an eye on 7 in blue, in white and blue there, and just put away by Rich before she was dragged down. That one came on a power play also, as did Mitchell's. And then a great breakaway chance here for Callinger. She's stopped, and then things get rough from there. And we had 3 players in total go to the penalty box at the end of the period. The shots now favoring Hopkins Park, 17-13. And you see the penalties, we're not 100% sure, but it appeared that Benilde, that there were coincidental minors, but then a misconduct given to Benilde because there wasn't a power play granted in that little scrum toward the end. And you see, obviously, HB has taken advantage of a couple of power play chances. Good third period ahead here on CCX. The Red Knights and the Royals coming up from Minnetonka Ice Arena.
Race. Love is love.
A good party too.
And welcome back as the Red Knights make their way out of the locker room and onto the ice here, getting set for period number 3. And I'm sure they're feeling, maybe just a little bit shell-shocked because they seem to kind of have the game going their way a little bit. They had that 2-1 lead, but penalties certainly a big issue, and Hopkins Park getting 2 power play goals almost exactly 2 minutes apart. And, all of a sudden you go from down 1 to up 1 heading into the third.
Yeah, that tight game. I mean, Hopkins came in here to 16% on the power play, right? Well, right now they're sitting at 22% on the power play, so it's climbing really fast. And, that's the great unequalizers. You got to stay out of the box, and we talked about that with Hopkins early in the first period, where they were in the box too much, and they kind of turned the tables, and they took advantage of it more so than Benilde did. So it's to be a crucial third period now for the Red Knights. They've had a good game. They've broken the goal situation that they've had. They've put 2 up on the board. They're playing well. I think they're moving the puck good. I think their defense has outplayed Park's defense. throughout the entire game. It's just a question again of you got to open it up. They need to get back to the 4-goal-a-game score they were.
Well, I think we've clarified one thing a little bit here. Each team got 2 penalties at the end of that. I didn't even notice that there were 2 Royals in the box, so that's why we're 5 aside. And we may have erred in assuming that there was a misconduct involved. It may have been just roughings all the way around, I think. And I apologize for that miscue there. So here we go in the third. Long pass trying to spring Gleason. Instead, to Caesar coming back the other way, and then Gleason throws it back into the Benilde zone. Benilde was able to get one in the first minute of the second period, so both teams need to be ready to go right from the get-go here in the third. De Caesar throws it into the corner here, and they'll head off on a change. Hanley picking up the puck here for Hopkins Park. Banked across, and then that pass deflected high into the air and into the Benilde zone. Gathered up there by Podine. Podine, that one hit a skate right near the blue line. The official trying to do his best to get out of the way there. Puck carried up here by the Royals. Fredrickson lost it there in the corner. And now the pass ahead onto the tape nicely of Konowalchuk. 2-on-2 with the rush. Konowalchuk shot bouncing wide. Fredrickson picking it up and will float it down the ice. And it's going to come on net though, and Green has to make a stop. Kept in at the line there for Hopkins by Kasica. And puck restolen. Here comes Hamley. Hamley walking in, shooting, and that one deflecting up high off the glass. Defender got a stick out. Hamley dropping the pass over to Gleason, giving it back to Hamley. Chopped loose from her. Gleason trying to win it back there along the wall. And now Hamley will come away with it. Hamley watch tightly there. Drop the pass back to Kumitchell. Kumitchell into the circle and fires. That one goes all the way through. And then it just kind of dies there along the boards. Gleason up with it here briefly for Hopkins Park. Kicked away there by Sexton. But boy, they've done a nice job bottling Benilde up. Oh, put it out front, and Hamley didn't quite see it coming and couldn't reach it in time there as O'Neill will come back to pick it up for Hopkins Park. Then all Royals early in the third.
Well, they took a turnover at the Benilde blue line and kind of made it work and kept the puck in the zone for quite a while.
Here comes Nylander back the other way. Nylander puts it out front, and that one into the pads of Bolin. And then they cover up and a little jousting out front again. A couple times, one in particular, late in the second, things got pretty rough up front after a puck was covered by the goalie.
Nylander with a great move there and a really nice follow-up there by number 26, Konowalchuk, as she came in with a rebound opportunity. Good save by Bolin there for the Royals.
Toss back across to Maya Jones. That one knocked down, and here comes Rousseau the other way. Benilde does a good job getting back, though, and then that drop pass was picked off. Callinger coming ahead. Penalty boxes are empty, by the way. I didn't notice it so much when we were 5 aside anyway, but all 4 of those penalties. So they were all minors on each of the 4 players late in that second period.
Well, both teams kind of with a good opportunity here and kind of a blown chance. Per se, you see where Coach Fodine's not happy with that last rush per se. And the mistake made, but you know, Hopkins did just the same thing too, although I think they were probably tired at rubber legs, but could they have got it up across the red line, just dumped it, and everybody else got a change? Just little stuff like that can make a difference in a 1-goal game.
Hanley knocking it loose. Look out. Hanley giving chase here. Getting there first was Hancock, though. And that one Relay taken away. Walking right out front was O'Neill, but it squirted away from her as she read that pass. Kind of a sloppy breakout try there for the Red Knights.
She stepped up real nice there, though, I'll tell you.
Sent back into the Hopkins zone, and we will get an icing call here against Benilde. It's been a little bit slower start to the third after, the teams really got cooking in the second.
There's been some real sloppy play and some bad turnovers by Benilde up by their own blue line. And one of these things, Hopkins has been that close to kind of turning it into a real good scoring chance.
Yeah, the trend is not in Benilde's favor right now after they played really a pretty strong first, nearly 2 full periods.
Oh, yeah.
And they've still got obviously a lot of time to get back. They've found their scoring touch a little bit tonight. They've been shut out in their first 3 games. They've put a couple up on the board here. Here is Rich, Mackenzie Rich trying to bring it to the middle. Now off to the side and then kicked. Would have been an interesting one if that one wound up in the net because Konowalczyk clearly kicked it, but went wide anyway. Dump back into the Hopkins zone here, and Benilde jumping up on the forecheck. Royals will just float it out to center to relieve the pressure a little bit there. Maya Jones banking it across. Konowalczyk stepping in. Sent back around, and they'll try and gather it up again as Konowalczyk, Haig getting after it. Now Mackenzie Rich carrying it in. Rich going to the net, shooting, and a pad save. Bolin with the stop. I think Rich did a pretty good job of disguising that one. It looked like she was maybe going to wind up a little, and instead she just decided to go quick release with it and nearly snuck it through the 5-hole.
Yep, almost got it in there. She did a real quick turnaround. I mean, that was a fast transition on her part. She started going back toward that net real quick and added a sneaky shot to it and almost got this game tied up.
And I don't know if she realized it or not, but they were starting to change, so she didn't have any help anyway, so it wasn't going to do any good to not go right at the net there.
Oh, sure.
Thrown in by Amanda Olson. Royals trying to regain possession. Now it's over skated there and knocked to the sidewall. And floated back out to center. Hanley will chase it down here for Hopkins Park. Spun back into that forecheck a little bit. I think she thought she had her fooled and didn't.
Kind of fooled herself that time.
Yep. Little double move when a single move would have sufficed. Here's Amanda Olson picking it up, and that one broken up. They were fortunate that to recover and get it out of there.
Hopkins has got a third line out right now, and they're not looking real strong.
Oh, that one hits the outside of the net as Juckness sent it toward the net, and Bolin really was not ready. Boy, that would have been a tough one to swallow if it hadn't gone in. Vitelli playing it here for Benilde. Fans wanted a penalty call there, and not forthcoming. Now thrown in by Callinger for Benilde. Kasica to the corner, now relays it back around. Just off the bench to jump in the play there was Podine for Benilde. Benilde's playing hungry right now. You can sense that they're not content to just be playing pretty well and within a goal or whatever. They're trying hard to get that tying goal here, and now Hopkins Park looking a little tired at the end of that shift, and they ice the puck, so we'll get a face-off coming back into the Royals zone here. 9:59 to play in the third, and a 3-2 lead for Hopkins Park.
Well, it's kind of funny. You walk into this game, and after 3 games, you haven't scored a goal, and all of a sudden you put 2 in there. You start believing in it, that you can score. And with a 1-goal game, you start believing you can win the game. So, and they've received pretty good goaltending here. So, it's kind of fun to watch Benilde now too, wondering what kind of a team this was when they weren't scoring. Now you're starting to see there's some potential with this team. Oh my gosh, they're young, Jay. Gee.
Carrying to the net. Oh, and a nice shot by Nylander there. He didn't have much room, but got one on goal. And now was able to help break that one out. up, coming out. Podine throwing it back in. And we're going to get a hand pass, or puck played by high stick, it looks like, actually, there. Here's another look. It's a shallow angle, but does a good job of, making the goaltender make a play. You put it in her feet, sometimes can be a little bit rebounds or whatever.
Well, we've seen a shallow angle goal on the short side, and we've also seen them go in the 5-hole from the short side, too. So
that one thrown out front and went off the skates of Kasica. Benilde's really buzzing right now on the forecheck. Hopkins Park has really caught back on their heels. Hanley picking it up, and they end up lofting it out of play. We'll get a face-off back in the HP zone here. That one probably in the NHL. They're opening the gate to put her away maybe there for a delay game, but.
Well, notice that the Royals have got this thing, Jay, periodically just stop moving. They take their legs out of gear and just kind of watch the game, and Benilde senses that and has continued to press the attack when that happens.
Sent to the line, but they can't get it out. Dump back into the corner here. Mackenzie Rich going after it there for BSM. And sent down low again. It winds up with the Royals' Kasica. And had it taken away. Anna Vitelli up with it here for the Red Knights, shooting. And Bolin able to glove that one around the midsection there near the HP logo there. You got both school colors worked in there now with the orange of St. Louis Park and the blue of Hopkins.
Boy, just a nice opportunity there for a shot. It kind of surprised Bolin. She was screened a little bit by both D. It was a nice shot taken there.
Yeah, that one was a little more dangerous than maybe I first thought. As they tried to go up under her shoulder there, and that can be kind of like a tweener there. Too high to get the blocker on it, really.
Well, with the prevalence of goalies now to go down fairly quickly, sometimes you can find that upper shelf real quick.
Benilde continuing to put pressure on, keeping the puck in the HP zone, and they are able to keep it in again here. Floated out front. Puck was loose for a second, just jabbed away by Amanda Olsen. Be an awful long time to just hang on to this one-goal lead like HP is doing right now. Not by design for them. It's just that Benilde's pressuring them enough that they're struggling to get it out. And here's one good way to get it out. Give it to Miss Hamley. Kylie Hamley hard up this side, and that shot deflects to the corner. Then it takes a bad bounce off a stanchion back there behind the net, and Hopkins Park able to keep it in. Chop back to the corner by Olsen. They force Hancock back the other way. And that pass hits a couple of players on the way out and recovered here by HP as Benilde trying to hurry up and make a change. And it got away briefly from Brousseau. And now Benilde jumping up with 3 players on the forecheck.
Yeah, the difference is here is the consistency of Benilde having 2 skaters on the puck rather than 1. Oh yeah, that's a penalty.
Charlotte Rich was hauled down, and we are going to get a penalty against Benilde for a hook. As Jones, I think you kind of got to know when to let go there. She, right away initially she might have been okay, but she just stuck with it.
Yep, she dragged it on for about 10 feet. As she gets it underneath, and now she's just yanking it back and holding it, and finally the referee reacted there. Well, here's an opportunity now for Hopkins maybe to put the dagger in a little bit to get a 2-goal lead. But the trouble Benilde's had scoring goals, 2 goals might be a little bit too much to overcome with only about 7 minutes left in the game.
Sophie Melsness was going to head off, and they said, no, the arm's already gone up. No more changes. And so Hopkins Park with the power play unit out there. As we saw, they've scored a couple on the power play already. And this one cleared all the way down the rink. So pretty much a must kill here for Benilde in this spot. In the game, you'd have to say, I think, down by a goal. And Hanley banked it back to herself. I don't think it was intentional, but it worked out that way. And then that pass getting through Gleason. And swept back ahead and dumped back into the Hopkins Park zone. Olin will leave it there for Hanley. Pass ahead now to Olson. Royals trying to get it set up. Back out. Here's Hanley, and her shot was deflected. Then a second try at it hacked into the corner. And overskirted by everyone. And here's an opportunity. Shorthanded breakaway. Nylander coming in for Benilde for the tie. No. Bolin with the stop. Leeson had it chopped away. Benilde got exactly what they wanted there. One of their better offensive players on a breakaway shorthanded. Now here's another chance for the Red Knights.
Oh.
And sailed up and over the top there by Dieterding. Hopkins Park a little sloppy on the power play, giving up chances there.
I'm seeing a lot of missed passes, not being caught and deflecting off the wrong place.
Oh, and that one went off a defender and nearly caromed in. Royals trying to get this power play set up as it's winding down, under 10 seconds to go with the player advantage here. Return pass given to O'Neill. O'Neill throwing it all the way through. Penalty time is over. Benilde back to full strength. Pass coming to the circle there. And now to Caesar up with it for the Red Knights. And we'll bank it out to center where it's gathered by Kasica for HP. 4:45 to go in the third. Hopkins Park leading at 3-2. Entertaining game here right before Thanksgiving. Pass across now to Mackenzie Rich. Rich sending it around. There'll be a Haig there trying to free it up as there's a battle out front away from the puck. Konowalchuk coming in to get it, trying to flip it out front. It was deflected away. And that one will hop over the stick of Hancock trying to keep it in. And the Red Knights trying to get back on the attack, which they were doing for a lot of this third period. Behind the net, nice job. Good hands there by Hanley to gather it up. Hanley carrying it up ice and got what she wanted there.
Yeah.
Face off. She was all alone and she knew it as they were looking to change, and puts the puck in on Green, and we'll get an offensive zone draw. Another look at Nylander's chance. And Bolin coming up with a big stop. Got her stick down.
Looking for the 5-hole there.
And banged out to center here, but the Royals get it right back and dump it back in. Nice play with it, considering the game time and situation here. Get that puck in deep when you can. Now it's loose alongside the net. They tried to jab it in there. Green was over there in good position anyway, it looked like. And that breakout was interrupted for a moment there, and then taken back here by Hopkins Charlotte Rich. Sends it down to the corner here.
Every time that puck goes down behind the goal line there in the Benilde zone, that's a win for Hopkins right now.
Puck carried out to center, and then that pass intercepted. And the back check is Amanda Olson. Olson, gave the puck up. Sent behind the net. Benilde looking to do some business late here and get the tying goal. And it hops away from Podine as Hopkins trying to hurriedly complete a change. And then that pass comes right in on net. Podine shooting and scooped up there by Bolin, and she will hang on. 2:23 to go in the third, and Hopkins Park clinging to a 3-2 lead.
I'll see it slip up there to Podine, and she just rifles off a quick one that probably would have missed the net, but got the face-off inside the zone. Now they got to win the face-off, and Hopkins Park won it.
Royals here with Hanley carrying it up the right side. Hanley's going to bank it back out to the point. Here's a long shot, looking for the tip. Ooh, and Green, I think, got a piece of that one. Had the setup they wanted alongside the net for a tip. Kasaka carrying it forward here for HP and dumps it into that corner.
Now we're going to get in the situation with 3-man back now with 1:38 left.
We'll keep our eye, too, on Green. See if and when the Red Knights pull her out of the net. And Hanley will float it back out to center. And Benilde was offside as Eterning tried to make it look good there as her skates were still in the zone as she was coming back to meet it. And a timeout is taken by Coach Podine on the Red Knights bench, it looks like here. Try and draw something up here late in the contest. See if, what their feeling is on terms of when they think to pull Green out of there.
What's the clock running for?
I think it's a timeout countdown, maybe. Maybe not.
I've never seen that run down before.
No, and I despise that when they do that in the. You do see it sometimes in more so in basketball. And, never, no reason for it. Leave it on the game clock. This is my message to all scoreboard operators who do that.
I agree 100% with you, totally.
Just because it's available on your scoreboard does not mean you need to count down the timeout.
Man. All right, well, obviously going to try and get her out as quickly as possible, so the face-off win here is very, very important. And Benilde's got to win it. Get it down deep in the zone. Allow your goalie to get off. Get your sixth attacker on there. Hopkins, 3 people back. Get it down in the neutral zone as fast as you can. 1 chaser. And then 2 back in the neutral zone and just kind of make them go the full length of the ice.
It's been kind of interesting for Hopkins Park. I feel like they've made very smart decisions when entering the offensive zone when to dump the puck. However, they've been a little slow getting out sometimes in their own defensive zone where you're kind of cringing, thinking, don't you realize how much pressure you're under right there. Thrown back in, and now Hanley comes up with it. Empty net to shoot at here, and she floats it too high and off the glass. So Green on the bench for a 6th attacker for Benilde. And Gleason trying to keep that puck in the zone there, and then now Gleason gets it back, pushes it down toward the corner. Benilde trying desperately to get this one out of there and take advantage of that 6th skater. Under a minute to go and going to the net. Here's the shot. Oh, and a nice stop there as Haig is denied. Emily Bolins had to make 2 pretty big saves down the stretch. That shorthanded breakaway and then that one.
Yeah.
Boy, considering where we're at in the game, Hopkins Park probably thinking, wow, how did we allow such an easy or a close-in opportunity there?
3 of them she went by. My gosh, I mean, you can't let anybody behind you. It's like the last of football game. If your safety gets beat deep, you made a major error.
Lofted down, and Hopkins Park did a nice job of taking something off that one to not result in an icing. So that was huge to not ice that puck. Bouncing free at center, and they fling it toward that empty net, but it never makes it anywhere near as Nylander picks it up. Under a half minute to go. Benilde trying to get the tying goal, and that one slung all the way through. Podine trying to put it out front, and now it is Hanley coming up with it, but will miss the net, and it's an icing. And the faceoff will come back in their zone. Yeah, you want to score a goal there, but
no, major mistake.
Yeah, better part of discretion there would have been to, get to the center line if you could, but if not, at least just a soft chip back in the zone. We'd probably be counting down the rest of the game right now.
And just bounce it off the board at an angle so it isn't going to go straight down the ice.
Battle for it in the corner here. Down to 10 seconds to go. HP trying to keep that puck tied up down there and eat up the rest of the time here as they start to battle it out. Red Knights able to finally pull it off, and that one comes through, and the game comes to an end. And it is Hopkins Park pulling out the 3-2 victory here. A close contest here, a good battle here tonight against a section rival and at least for about half of the roster from Hopkins Park, a crosstown rival, with Benilde-St. Margaret's being located in the city of St. Louis Park as well. So entertaining game here tonight, Dan, and I think we have some good hockey to come for both these teams based on what we saw here tonight. The record right now not showing it for Benilde, but they played well enough that they'll win some games, I think.
Let's see what happens in the sections now. By that time, let's see how much, because this Benilde-St. Margaret team is better than its record showing, and you know it, because they played 2 very good games right now. They finally got off the schneid as far as getting the puck in the goal net. So, you know, they're building on it. They didn't lose this game from what they accomplished. They were very competitive in the game. Their goaltending was solid. They got some great opportunities. They're going to start scoring, and by the time the section scheduling comes around, they're going to be a factor. Hopkins, I like the way they played. They did some smart things. They did some good things. And they're showing that they're a pretty good team, too. Of course, they got that late conference schedule to go through. Boy, I'll tell you. Should be interesting. That'll make them a better team, though.
These teams will meet again January 11th over at the St. Louis Park Rec Center. We will come back to wrap things up in just a moment. Your final is Hopkins Park 3, Benilde-St. Margaret's 2. We'll be right back here to MIA.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Welcome back here to Minnetonka Ice Arena. A nice win tonight for Hopkins Park as they take a 3-2 win over Benilde-St. Margaret's. And we're joined by a couple of the Royals that helped to get it done here this evening. Callie Mitchell, this was a tough game. They came in with no wins so far, but they gave you a good game. How much fun was this one?
It was super fun. We have a fun group of girls this year. We have a lot of good chemistry on and off the ice, which is important. And we just love playing hockey, and that's, I think, a good thing to have as a team.
You guys have already played quite a few games and have done very well. Are you excited with the start for the team?
Yeah, of course. Always excited to start with a couple of wins. The first game was a little rough, but we definitely picked it up after that. And, I think it's going well. We're improving every day, and I think that's good.
You guys battled back in this one with a couple of power play goals, including the one that you got that you kind of snuck through a little bit there. How important was it to kind of get the power play going a little bit tonight?
It's very important because you don't get a lot of opportunities like that. They're a rough team, and we're obviously going to fight back, so there's going to be penalties both ways. And, when you get a power play, you have to capitalize on that and get as many goals as you can.
I know you play them again in the regular season. Obviously, it's a section team, too. So how important was it to kind of get the first one against them tonight?
It's very important because when you go into sections, you already have that kind of encouragement, saying you already won and that, you can go into it knowing you can win.
Callie, thanks for joining us. Good job here tonight.
Thank you.
And Emily Bowen, boy, you had to make some tough saves down the stretch there. They came at you a little bit, including on that breakaway. Was it fun in that third period or a little nerve-wracking?
It was really nerve-wracking, but it was a really good adrenaline rush, and I still have it going on right now. But it was amazing.
This is a pretty big rival for your team. Does that make this win a little more special even, too?
Yeah, it does, by a lot.
You got an opportunity to step in as the starting goalie this year. I know you had some seniors ahead of you last year. How much fun has it been to get between the pipes and really do a nice job so far?
It's been really fun. I've improved so much over the summer. I pushed myself even harder than I did last year. And also AC, or Annika Kylander, she is my inspiration on getting better every day.
It's been a really good start to the season, like we said, to Callie, and how much fun has it been to see the progress that this team has been making?
It's amazing. I love seeing the progress of everybody improving. Same with me.
All right, congratulations on the win, and have a nice Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you too.
All right, the Hopkins Park Royals winning it over Benilde here tonight by a score of 3-2, so they're already off to a 5-1 start here early in this 2017-2018 season. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and happy holidays to all of you and your families. For Dan Ficken and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Minnetonka Arena.